As a species, we're attracted to stories. They help us make sense out of the chaotic world and bring order to uncertainty. Not all stories are created equally, however. There are a number of myths on personal finance that have an insidious effect on those who have subscribed to them without entertaining an alternative. These stories creep up on us over time until we have been indoctrinated without even fully being aware of it. We receive some of them through dubious readings such as financial books written by individuals who are less interested in helping you to grow your net worth than they are in steering you toward subprime services. We may learn others through individuals we normally trust in most areas of our lives, such as close family members and friends. However we may have absorbed these tales, it's important to maintain your financial savvy and critical thinking acumen so that you can separate sound wisdom from all of the misguided dogma and noise that echo in the chamber. There are many common sense financial tips that are keeping you from accumulating real wealth. Here are just a few of the nonsense stories you should stop listening to and why you should be thinking differently. First, saving is the same as earning. We've all heard this famous axiom that the penny saved is a penny earned. Well, it's hard to argue with in the notion that it's smart to live within your means and to surely make sense to take advantage of opportunities to save your hard-earned money. But far too many of the working poor and the lower middle class who fall short of their goals to attain wealth focus far too much on the goal of cutting from their budget rather than thinking through what steps they could actively be taking to increase their earnings potential. They are taking far more time for playing defense rather than taking offensive steps to increase their value and to earn more. They are overly fixated on how to cut that small little piece of pie rather than to enlarge the pie itself. The fact is, there's only so much that you can save, especially on a fixed salary, to be able to achieve significant wealth. You can see numerous ways in which a fixation on reduced costs can stymie your own growth. Think of the saver who skips out on a valuable conference or networking session because they don't want to invest in a professional wardrobe or the travel costs. While they may be saving some dollars in the short run, they can't calculate how the long-term relationships, opportunities, and wealth they are foregoing with such a short-term mindset. Another myth is you can do it on your own. Going along with the theme of short-term thinking, many focused on their balance in the very short term are uncomfortable seeking assistance from professionals, be it helping them to manage their investments or to making major career choices and decisions, to delegating aspects of their business ventures that they may hold. They prefer to do everything on their own, overestimating their own judgment and preferring not to invest the time or the money that comes along with working with a partnership with others. The reality is that we all have strengths and weaknesses. The weaknesses can be mitigated and the strengths can be amplified when we bring in a talented team who can augment our own abilities. This is especially true in the area of managing your personal investments. There's a degree to which you can begin and start using your own research and some automated tools as well, such as index funds to set specific dates and years or have specific targets. But as you begin to accumulate significant holdings, it is critical that you bring in a trained eye for a professional to ensure that you stay on consistent course upward. Another myth is that your earning power has already been set. So many of us tell ourselves stories about how much we're able to bring in based on conditions that they currently exist. We take stock of where we're coming from and where we are, and often enough, we just leave it at that. So when we tell ourselves that this is the best projection we can do based upon where we happen to be in our life, or our grades from years ago in school, or perhaps we tell ourselves that we are limited by the nature of the profession or field that we have chosen. We make a certain amount of money and that's it. Well, if that's the way you're looking at it, all of this is short-term thinking and nearsighted. The fact is that all of us have the capability to be an entrepreneur in our thinking and in our approach to the world. All of us have talents and insights from our niches of the world that can be applied to create a new revenue stream for yourself. The key to this is think creatively, beyond the narrow confines of the circumstances as your world dictates right at this moment. And when you do that, you'll be amazed at what can take place. Another myth is that you have to start out rich. You need money to make money. We've all heard that, right? Well, it's true, you can make more money when you have more money. But too many of us subscribe to the thinking that the game has been rigged to ensure that only the rich get richer. While it's undeniable that being born in the right place in the right gene pool can give you an enormous head start in accumulating wealth, this is not a zero-sum game. In fact, you may find, if you observe long enough, that being born into great wealth is actually or can be an hindrance due to the manner in which it can sap the will and drive from you. Many of the great achievers of our time have been driven from early on to make their own name for themselves. You'll find that a huge percentage of the list of the wealthiest Americans are made up of self-made people who rose from next to nothing to claim their place. The magic of compounding interest and the networking capabilities of the internet makes this a time of great opportunity to attain economic mobility, but it also takes grit and perseverance. Leave the class warfare and the envy to others to sort out. You are too focused on maximizing your own talents and helping others to worry about the game being rigged against you. Another myth is that your income is the same as your worth. There's an enormous focus on annual salary as a harbinger of financial success. This is actually a poor indicator if not placed within the full context of an individual's financial picture. A lawyer pulling in $150,000 annually is not necessarily in a better position than a school teacher with a $45,000 salary. If the lawyer is mired in credit debt and excessive mortgage payments, he may be worse off. Having the capacity to save and the energy needed to invest and focus into entrepreneurial ventures will ultimately outpace the large salary. Consider the broader picture when entertaining job offers. There will always be a lot more on the table to keep in mind than just the amount of weekly pay that you're going to receive. How will that job help you reach your professional goals and live life to the fullest and meet the expectations that you have for yourself? What other financial myths have you heard in the media or from associates? How have you learned to be able to separate out the good advice from the short-term rationales that will only prevent you from reaching that earning power that you aspire to? Post your questions and comments on Facebook and like my page as well. Register on my website, TonyNewmeyer.com, to receive free trainings and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And always remember, live rich.